In January 1959, 9 young hikers from a Soviet university were ready for a grand adventure. Their leader, Igor Dyatlov, was experienced and confident. His team trusted him, and together they planned to conquer the snowy slopes of Mount Otorten in the Ural Mountains. However, their journey would take a horrifying turn, leading to a mystery that still baffles the world. The group started their trek in high spirits. Yuri Yudin, one of the team members, fell ill early on and had to turn back. As he waved goodbye, he felt a strange chill. Maybe it's just the cold, he thought. Little did he know, this decision would save his life. The remaining 9 hikers laughed, sang songs, and took pictures as they climbed higher into the mountains. They documented everything in journals, describing the beauty of the snow-covered wilderness. But the weather grew worse with each passing day. The winds howled like whispers through the trees, and the snowstorms made it difficult to see. On February 1st, the group decided to set up camp on the slopes of Kolat-Syakhl, known as Dead Mountain by the local Mansi people. They chose a spot on an open slope, even though a nearby forest offered better shelter. Some believed Igor wanted to practice camping in harsher conditions for their training. That night, as the group prepared for sleep, the wind screamed outside their tent. "This is nothing," joked Zina, one of the hikers. "We faced worse storms before." The others laughed, their spirits still high. But as they drifted off to sleep, strange noises filled the air. Was it the wind? Or something else? In the middle of the night, something happened. Something so terrifying that the hikers tore open their tent from the inside and fled into the freezing wilderness. Rescuers later found their footprints scattered in the snow, some barefoot, some wearing socks, as if they had no time to dress properly. One of the hikers, Yuri Krivonoshenko, whispered as they ran through the snow, "Did you hear that? It's following us." The group stopped, gasping for air, their breath visible in the freezing cold. "We need to go back," Igor shouted, but no one dared to return to the tent. Whatever scared them had driven them into pure panic. The group reached the edge of the forest and tried to start a fire. 2 of them, Yuri and Doroshenko, stayed by the fire to keep warm, but the rest scattered, searching for safety or trying to find help. The fire flickered weakly, and the cold claimed Yuri and Doroshenko quickly. Further into the forest, 3 hikers, Igor, Zina, and Rustem, tried to climb back toward the tent. Their frozen bodies were later found in positions suggesting they had collapsed from exhaustion and frostbite. 4 hikers, Lyudmila, Alexander, Nikolai, and Semyon, stumbled deeper into the woods. They found a ravine and decided to take shelter, digging into the snow. They thought they were safe, but whatever had scared them before seemed to follow. The wind carried strange sounds, like whispers, laughter, and growls. "Do you hear that?" Lyudmila whispered, clutching Semyon's arm. He nodded, his face pale. "We're not alone," Alexander muttered. But the cold was merciless. The 4 were later found in the ravine, their injuries too strange to explain. Lyudmila's tongue was missing, and some had broken ribs, as if crushed by a massive force. Weeks later, when the group didn't return, search teams were sent to find them. Rescuers discovered the abandoned tent with no signs of struggle inside, but the scene was eerie. Clothes, food, and journals were left behind. The footprints leading away told a story of panic, confusion, and fear. The bodies were found one by one, each discovery raising more questions than answers. Some had no shoes, others were barely dressed, and the injuries baffled investigators. Was it an avalanche, a wild animal, or something no one could explain? To this day, no one knows exactly what happened to the 9 hikers. Some say it was a secret military experiment, with strange lights reported in the sky that night. Others believe in supernatural forces, claiming the mountain was cursed, and some think the group may have turned on each other in their panic. Yuri Yudin, the hiker who turned back, lived the rest of his life wondering, what really happened to my friends that night? This story remains one of the most chilling mysteries in history, known as the Dyatlov Pass Incident. A night of terror on Dead Mountain that will never be fully understood.